What's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about this upcoming extremely not only powerful but rewarding full moon / lunar eclipse we have here in on January 10th, 2020. The main theme is getting more than you think. I have a phrase for you, and I want you to remember this because it relates to everyone who watches my channel. Shadow work pays off. Shadow work sometimes, what I mean by shadow work is doing the inner work, allowing your life to sort of rearrange itself for your highest good so that you can emerge an embodiment of your real potential and be a shining example for those around you. When it's happening, when the transformation's happening, it seems as if the opposite is occurring. It can be challenging, it can be unnerving, it can be unexpected. All this is very normal around these powerful alignments, but this one in particular, even though there might be some arrangements going on in your life, emotions coming up, that's to be expected. In spite of that, the main theme is that you're going to really realize that you are way more powerful than you ever thought, and that you've already gotten yourself through the work you've already done to a new vibration, if you want to call it that, a new place of harmony and alignment. And from this point forward, your life is going to start reflecting that in a way that far exceeds your expectations. It's an extremely rewarding, beautiful time of empowerment, upliftment, and manifestation. So as I always do, my friends, I always break down these readings into 5 more specific themes that will allow you to get the absolute most out of this powerful cycle that in particular has so much potential. Now, real quick, before I get into the video, I want to give you a quick heads up. There's something brand new. I've never done this in a video before that's going to take place at the end of the video. It's a full moon guided meditation that I welcome you to participate in. It's extremely powerful. I already filmed it. It came out really good, and I know it's going to help you not only get a lot out of the full moon, but really tap in to your divine self. Okay, that's at the end of the video, just giving you a heads up to stick around to the end, and I'll see you there, and I'll see you inside right now. Number 1, I wrote down positive life change. A profound restoration of harmony in your life is what is going to result from this full moon eclipse cycle. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking otherwise, thinking, Vic, no, dude, there's actually a lot of random inconveniences spilling into my life. Things are coming up in my life that I know I need to deal with, but I don't know how, and quite frankly, I don't want to right now because it's challenging. But those very things that come up, that your awareness tends to zero in on and send you a message of knowing that this thing, this person, this career, it could be a smaller little tweak, it could be a huge part of your life. This thing isn't really a reflection of your new potential. This thing is a disruption in your flow, in your happiness. Okay? A lot of times when these things come up, we get lost in the initial stress of this inconvenient truth popping in to our awareness. But I tell you this, when you finally admit to yourself that I got to deal with this thing, and you start taking action to deal with it in whatever way that means for you, because you're acting in alignment with what your spirit is suggesting, regardless of what you got to do, it's going to go fairly smoothly. It's not going to be bad. And I promise you, you'll feel a million times better dealing with that issue head on because you're in alignment than like avoiding it and projecting in your mind of how it's going to go. It reminds me of when I had to close down my gym. I used to run this personal training gym, and for a long time it was like the love of my life. It was my passion, it was my joy. But as things change, people change, it suddenly became something I never intended it to become. And it was now suddenly a source of stress and anguish. And I just had a knowing. You all know how when something's like trying to fade out of your life, you just kind of know it, right? That's how it was for this gym. But I avoided it because it's like this big thing I made, and it would have been such a pain in the butt to have to close it down and deal with it, right? So I avoided it. Well, sometimes, and this would happen during full moons and eclipses especially, it would be like these things I've been ignoring, suddenly I could no longer ignore. And finally I was lying awake one night, going over, scrolling through my phone, trying to like think of a way to salvage the gym because it wasn't doing well. And I finally stumbled upon this woman's website. Her name was Samantha, and she was a very successful multiple location gym owner. And I saw what Samantha was doing to succeed. I was like, oh, she's doing this, this, and this, and this. Well, the problem was this, and this were things I knew I could not see myself doing. And I was like, the amount of energy it would take to get this thing succeeding again, I didn't have it in me. It was that the actions needed to be taken were too out of alignment with where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. So that moment when I saw that, it was like, oh no. I could no longer ignore, I could no longer delay the inevitable, but that thing finally compelled me to do what Spirit was asking me to do the whole time, saying, you got to close down the gym. It's not making you happy. It's a source of stress, and you're going to be free and feel good if you do this one thing that your mind says it will be tough. And finally, when I started to break down the gym and told the trainers and told the clients, it went extremely quickly and extremely smoothly. And to my amazement, even though I was doing all these things that I was like avoiding doing, because I was in like this, I felt like I was finally back in my flow, finally back on my path. It didn't really matter what I was doing. I was like having fun. I was listening to music, and the breakdown phase went very smoothly, very quickly, almost effortlessly, it was almost enjoyable. And then after that, there was all this space, all this harmony, all this room for new things to manifest in my life that brought me so much more joy, so much more passion, so much more freedom, so much more abundance. And that is exactly the type of energy I sense for this powerful full moon and lunar eclipse. A restoration and even an elevation, I would go to say, of harmony and peace in your life. But you gotta do what you're telling yourself already it's time to do. Number 2, this one's gonna seem a bit out of left field. I wrote down here, transcending the idea and obligation and chains of karma. We're living in a time when spiritual knowledge is at an all-time level of abundance. And sometimes I think we forget just how spiritually adept we actually are on cosmic law and universal truths. They become part of our common sense, part of our vocabulary, part of our normal thought processes that sometimes we don't, I think, realize the profound, game-changing implications of the spiritual growth we've been on. I was just talking to my friend the other day at the gym, Aaron. My friend Aaron is on this numerology kick. And he was telling me all about it as he does. We call him the hype master. He's hyping up numerology, which I'm a fan too. I'm not dogging it. But he was talking about the idea of a karmic debt number. And we were discussing amongst ourselves how it really does feel right now that the idea of karmic debt is becoming obsolete. Because we're starting to think, we're starting to look at our life more so from the vantage point of the soul. We can almost see our karmic debt coming a mile away with like different synchronicities, different insights, different divine assistance, where we have now the freedom to really live a life free of the past, because we are living more in the now than ever before. The idea of karma, at least in my experience and what I see and what I sense, take it for what you will, it really is becoming an obsolete concept that is more so germane of going through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, primarily unconsciously needing these physical ramifications to learn these soul lessons. It's no longer like that. We're realizing that as above, so below, as within, so without. What's happening on the outside is coming from the inside, and it's becoming more of a commonsensical, natural thing to correlate our life with what's going on inside. And as we do that, we can avoid these big challenging lessons and live a life where we are just more free to create and have experiences that bring us fun and joy and excitement, and learn these soul lessons in a much softer way. Let me know. I know how that sounds. I'd be curious. I'd be very curious, honestly, of your perspective on all the things I just said. This is just my own perspective here. So if you don't mind, please share in the comments below what you think about what I just said. Number 3, all of us would really benefit, especially now, from going with the flow and living more of that 5D type of lifestyle. It's really good to have plans. I have goals and affirmations all over this wall, all over my office, and I'm reciting them, and I write myself a fairly specific sequential to-do list the night before every day. But what I'm realizing now in my own life is that it's becoming more obvious what really strongly seems right in that moment or on that day or for that week. For example, as I was closing out the new year, I had one major thing on my mind, and that was it's time to write the book. I was all about writing the book. You're all probably getting sick of hearing about it. But turns out, as we're in this new year now, I'm finding myself with this impossible to ignore, just this gusto, this passion, this resonance with focusing on speaking. I've been shooting these long instruction videos, I've been shooting way more YouTube videos, and regardless of what I had thought and what felt right at the time, in this moment, what feels so right is just doing what I'm doing now, speaking. In fact, I hope to not have to cut this short. I just had to squeeze this video in because I just feel like this undying passion to do it. In the past, the reason I tell you that is because I would live my life more from like a cerebral, logical level and say, well, no, I said this. This is what I already concluded. I don't want to have to feel whimsical and in the unknown. And I would ignore what at the time even were more obvious inspirations to do things, maybe against what I had previously thought. But as most of us know, this is a very energetic reality we live in, and we will always benefit, always, from simply going with the flow, going towards what resonates, trusting our intuition. And right now, I just have this strong sense that if we can really do that, we can really let go. Set plans, yes. Make goals, great. But really, when it comes down to it, the ultimate authority should be how you feel intuitively, in your knowing, in the moment. I've made big choices in the moment in this way, and that's when I've made the biggest shifts in my life. That's when miracles happen, and what seems like divine support assists. Number 4, it's a time of overcoming the shadow, emerging victorious in the battle against your shadow. Your shadow, it's so common for the shadow to come out and mingle with us and try to block us and suppress us whenever we want to make some kind of positive change in our life. How many of you have experienced that? Maybe a moment of clarity, a moment of inspiration, an idea of a positive change that resonates. And then you go to take action on it, and you get the synchronicities, and it feels so right, like, yeah, this is a good move, I'm on my path. And then all of a sudden, you're dealing with all these blocks. And people say the word blocks as if they're this insignificant sort of mental abstraction, when they're not. We're living in a time where we're so sensitive to our emotions, and our emotional blocks, the shadow as it comes out to bother us, it's a real formidable opponent, and it can very well derail people from doing what they know is right for them in their heart. And I've dealt with this in my life. I know what it's like to have, when I had the inspiration originally to get onto YouTube, it was like, this was clear as day, what I'm meant to do, but every time I try to shoot a darn video, it was, I couldn't do it. I could be in this awesome state, all these ideas flowing all day, but then when I would turn on that camera, it was like I was a different person. It was like I was my little inner child with this accumulation of emotional baggage that made it impossible to do what I just wanted so desperately to do. But we are living in a time where there's enough momentum, there's been enough spiritual progress and growth in you to where you don't have to shy away from these battles with the ego, these battles with the shadow. It's a time to not fight in this like conflicting sort of way, but it's a time to not let your fears derail your plans and prevent you from doing what you know in your heart is right for you. It's a time where you can emerge victorious. I promise you. It's a matter of not giving up and being persistent and just having that knowing that it's normal to run into yourself, to run into your past as you try to go forward. But it's something that if it's happening, it means you're ready to do it. You're ready to win. Lastly, number 5, it's a time of realizing truly just how far you've come. Now, this doesn't always mean like my life is perfect and I've manifested all this cool stuff. Initially, these powerful signs of progress come in the form of your behavior, the way you react and respond to circumstances that might have in the past produced a very different response, and how quickly you move on from things, and just your spiritual now mastery and how it's sort of influencing your character and your behavior and the way you conduct yourself. Sometimes recognition of that can be infinitely more satisfying than getting the new house, the new car, the new job, the new girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay, and those are awesome things, and it's cool to go for those. And I set goals all the time, as I always talk about. But realizing how much you've changed is what really, I believe, is ultimately produces a lasting and real and deep degree of satisfaction to not just your life, but to your soul, to your spirit. It's what we really are after. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, and we're here to expand beyond what we previously were and into more of ourselves. And this month will be an opportunity to really do a lot of that, to really realize, even if things aren't, there may be probably some things in your life that you're in the process of going through and rearranging and letting go of, and some blocks in the shadows over there poking its head out once in a while. All life is gonna do what life does, but you are always a constant, and you are changing, you are growing, you are transforming, and you are becoming more and more and more and more empowered each and every day. And for that, my friend, you should celebrate. Okay, my friend, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's now time for the guided meditation that's going to allow you to experience your divine self. And specifically, it's going to lead you to a state of awareness where you can then pose a question, which is going to be higher self, God, spirit guides, source, whatever you want to call out to. Give me a message that I need to hear that will help me at this particular time in my journey. I'm going to guide you to a space within yourself, a state of consciousness where you can connect with your divine self. And all you have to do is sit back, relax, close your eyes, and listen along. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is a bit of a challenge. How fast can you relax yourself? How quickly can you enter your own version of the meditative state? I'm going to help you. But what I want you to do is relax yourself right now as quickly as possible. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. Consciously choose to relax them. Take a nice, powerful, deep breath in. Hold it and let it out slowly. As you breathe, with every inhalation, Imagine yourself drawing in beautiful, healing, and uplifting white light energy into your being. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release any tension or negativity you're carrying. Where after every single exhale, you feel lighter and lighter and lighter, and more and more and more free and liberated and at peace. Take another beautiful, powerful deep breath in with me right now, drawing in that positive white light energy into your being and letting out the tension, letting out the stress, letting go of the worry, putting down the angst and the frustration, and falling effortlessly into alignment with the silence that always exists within your heart space. Okay, my friend, I want you to now imagine yourself as a bird. Imagine yourself transforming right now into a bird. Imagine beautiful, impressive wings extending out of your back and coming all the way down to the floor, giving you a sense of power and freedom and grace. You're a young bird. You've never yet flown, but your bird parents have trained you well. And they just came over and said to you, little bird, it's time to fly for the first time. And I want you to imagine what that little bird feels like. I want you to embody what it would feel like to know you're moments away from lifting off and ascending into a whole new paradigm of experience, just filled with an almost unimaginable amount of freedom and joy and expansiveness. How is it going to feel to fly for the very first time? You're moments away, you've done the training, and you're ready to go, and you're about to lift off, my friend. How do you feel? Feel those feelings in your body that you've earned. Imagine how liberating you're about to feel as you lift off for the first time ever in your life. My friend, it's time. I want you to extend your wings out wide and flap them down and cause yourself to lift up. Imagine yourself as that bird lifting off, taking flight for the first time ever, and instantly tasting that freedom, feeling in a visceral way that expansiveness. And I want you to imagine yourself now getting higher and higher and higher and soaring well above the ground, well above the earth. You're now above the trees, and everything as you look below yourself is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you're continuing to flap those beautiful wings and go higher and higher and higher. And as you get higher and higher, you feel more and more and more free, more expansive, more yourself. I want you to keep flapping those beautiful wings and enjoy this state of being that you've now cultivated within yourself as you ascend into this higher plane of experience, this higher realm of existence that is a part of who you are. And now you are getting so high you can barely see the clouds as you look down, and you're getting close to space. Oh, that cool, expansive, beautiful, peaceful space. You're a special bird, so now you're among the stars, and you feel more peace and more love and more connection than you ever have in your entire life. Right now, my friend, from this state of awareness, you have an opportunity to experience very deeply a connection and a communication with your creator, with your version of source, your version of God. You are now very close to that source of creation, that source of divine guidance is here with you right now. And I want you to ask, is there a message you have for me? What do I need to know for this next leg of my journey? What do I need to understand? What do I need to see? What do I need to know for this next leg of my journey? I want you to allow yourself to let in this communication of divine guidance that's going to assist you in this next leg of your journey. I want you to open up, spread your wings, trust, and let it in. What message do you have for yourself today, my friend? Take a moment and just be with this experience. I want you to thank yourself for this experience, for it is you who created this state of being and this elevated state of consciousness that has allowed you to receive a powerful message to carry you in to this next leg of your journey with the wind at your back and all the confidence and excitement and joy anyone could ask for. I want you to feel yourself descending back down, getting lower and lower, and feeling a sense of completion and pride that you just did that. And now you're lowering down through the clouds. You can peek through them and see the trees now appearing before you. As you get closer and closer, you're feeling more and more solid, more and more grounded, more and more ready for this next leg of your journey. Now armed with maybe something new, a new insight, a new revelation, a new source of divine guidance is now with you and will be with you as you take this next leg of your journey head on, full force, with all the confidence and excitement and joy one could ask for. Feel yourself lowering down, now level with the trees, and you see a really sturdy branch you can go ahead and land on. And I want you to imagine the feelings of what that bird feels like right now. It just flew. You just had a divine encounter with your higher self or with God, however you come to define it, it's just fine. And now you feel more ready than ever for this new year, this new cycle, this new era, this new leg of your life. And I want you to imagine yourself coming down from the tree and landing on the ground. And then reforming back into your human self. Oh, how nice it is to have arms and feet and legs and heart and a face. Imagine your feet feeling grounded and one with the earth. And you can now slowly open your eyes. Let's all together take a breath. Thank you, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that. Take your time coming out of this state. Be patient with yourself and have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing full moon cycle. an amazing year, a phenomenal new decade, and an amazing life. Namaste.